the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady.
I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the home team. The home team is brought to you in part by Grace Family Church. Just try it. By Tampa Bay area Chick-fil-A restaurants. By Vermost Insurance. By Mahoney's Auto Repair. By the Palm Pavilion on Clearwater Beach. By Irish 31, the place to catch your favorite team in action. By Iceman Development, LLC. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
Thank you, Bill Carl, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the home team on our regular spot, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I think a lot of people have caught on now. A lot of people watching on Facebook Live. Billy, good morning to you. Glad to see you out there, and a number of others as well. I know Nick is tuned in on Facebook Live. And a whole lot of people will be joining us on the phone lines at 727-441-3000. Among the things we're looking at today, the Bucs are still alive. They get the game they had to get last week, and now still in it in the NFC South. And we'll have a real test coming up tomorrow, but a good measuring stick, and we'll see exactly where this team is. If they can somehow find a way to pull off a win tomorrow, they will really be feeling good about themselves. A very difficult game with the 49ers. We'll get into that a lot today. USF got trounced last night by University of Texas San Antonio, UTSA. But the second half is where things got out of hand. They stayed even with them in the first half and actually had the lead in the first half. But we'll get into that as well. The Lightning are back in town, and they've got an afternoon game today, a 4 o'clock face-off against the Edmonton Oilers. We'll talk about that. Andrei Vasilevsky is skating again. That's certainly good news. And the Magic get a win last night. However, injuries are starting to set in. Now Markelle Fultz is out. Also out, Wendell Carter Jr. He's expected to be back pretty soon. Suggs is out as well for the Magic, and but they're still managing to pick up wins at 7-5. We'll tell you more about that. Your last chance to order your Thanksgiving dinner from Alessi Bakery is this week, and for the procrastinators, we'll give you the information on that. We'll take a look at the college football menu, and also we'll look back at some of the games from this past week, and question for you on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night games. We'll discuss that as well. All of that is coming up next. Stay right where you're at. A jam-packed show today. Good morning, John from Clearwater. He is watching on Facebook Live. More of the home team coming up on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, 106.1 FM, 102.3 FM, and Facebook Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the three-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity and Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with two N's, development.com. Looking for a trusted lender to purchase or refinance a home? We recommend Brett Rupenthal with Mortgage Equity Partners, a direct lender offering unique programs to help people in all situations and financial backgrounds. Whether you are a first-time home buyer, savvy investor, or just looking to save money, Brett Rupenthal and Mortgage Equity Partners is the lender to talk to. Brett Rupenthal is branch manager with Mortgage Equity Partners, direct lender offering residential home loans. To reach Brett, simply text the words Home Team to 844-4LOAN-00. Brett can answer all your loan questions and provide fast pre-approvals. Find out about Brett's groundbreaking programs, like his famous Rate Protection, Lock to Shop, and Equity Savings programs. To work with a direct lender that Home Team personally trusts, simply text the words Home Team to 844-4LOAN-00. Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Vermost Insurance in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com.
Hundreds of sets of gently used golf clubs is what you'll find at T&D Golf Stores. Conveniently located at 4205 West Waters Avenue, half a mile west of Dale Mabry, T&D has the best repair facility with the largest selection of grips in stock. You'll find a wide variety of new and used golf balls, shoes, gloves, and accessories. Family owned and operated, check them out on the web at tndgolfstores.com. Open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
If there's one thing I'm particular about, it's my pizza. ABC Pizza House at 1242 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. Great specials, too, like a large one-topping pizza for just $11.99 every Monday or Thursday, or 2 pizzas with 2 toppings every Tuesday for just $22.99. Spaghetti with 1 topping every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday for just $8.99. ABC Pizza House, 1242 West Hillsborough Avenue, 813-213-0929. Open every day, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. abcpizzahouse.com. Calling all radio enthusiasts with storm claims and legal questions. Join us every Saturday at 2 p.m. on WTAN 1340 AM for Legal Candy with attorney Candace Colucci. She's your guide to hurricane-related issues, property insurance law, and more sizzling legal topics. Get ready for a lively legal experience. Make your Saturday sweet with Legal Candy on WTAN 1340 AM.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Home Team. Glad to have you with us. If you want to join us on the phone lines, good time right now. It always gets busy later in the show, but now is a good time to join us at 727-441-3000. 727-441-3000. You can join us on the phone lines and enter our contest. Bucks and 49ers coming up tomorrow. And we'll also take a look at some of the other things going on. But Jason, at least they get a win last Sunday and keep our hopes alive, keep our interest alive. And now at 4-5, they still have a shot at getting back to maybe a playoff spot.
Well, it's amazing what a difference a week can make. It looked like they were pretty much dead in the water after that debacle with Houston. But to their credit, that was a very impressive win. Not only did they win, they were pretty dominant on defense, and the offense was efficient enough to get the job done. And then with New Orleans and Atlanta both losing, now they find themselves just a half game back in the division. Mm-hmm. So they really are right there. It's a long season. There's a lot of twists and turns, but that was an absolute must win for them, a season-saving win. They ended a losing streak, and the hope is this can be the start of a winning streak. Now, tomorrow is going to be very difficult. Certainly not impossible, though. I mean, San Francisco They themselves ended a losing streak. You know, they
had lost 3 in a row.
They had lost 3 in a row. I mean, they had an impressive win over Jacksonville last week, but still, they did lose 3 in a row. They lost one of those games was to the Vikings, a team that the Bucs beat. So the Bucs can certainly win this game. The Bucs are going to have to play great defense like they did last week, get pressure on the quarterback. You shut down the run game with Christian McCaffrey, and I think on offense, they're going to need to start hitting on some of these deep pass plays. They really have yet to be able to do that. I think they're going to need to do 2 or 3 of those possibly tomorrow, going up against a really good 49ers defense. You got great receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. The rookie Trey Palmer's come on strong. We have a good tight end in Cade Otton. And Rachaad White has been very impressive the last couple of games. I know he's been hot and cold, but last 2 games, I think he's really played well. And I think Baker Mayfield's playing well overall. So, yes, I do give the Bucs a shot to win this game.
Looking at what's left on the schedule, and by the way, congratulations to Mario. Mario on Facebook Live won the contest last week. I believe he was 12 points off of the final score, and that was the closest that anyone was. Yes, Mario was 12 points off. He had it 20-18. Buccaneers, and it ended up, of course, 20-6. So congratulations to him. Today we're doing the Bucs and 49ers, and of course the halftime score. But if you look at what's left on the schedule, Jason, the remaining games they have, what do you see as the key games that are really going to make it or break it as far as the playoff is concerned?
It's the division games. They still have 4 division games left. 2 against Carolina, and then another one against New Orleans, and another one against Atlanta. Right now, they're 1-1 in the division. They beat the Saints, and they lost to the Falcons.
And ironically enough, their last 2 games are divisional games: home to New Orleans and then at Carolina in the season.
Ultimately, if they take care of business in their division games, I think in all likelihood they're going to be the division winner and make the playoffs.
See, I have a little bit different of a take on it because I think the division is so close that everybody's going to beat everybody. That, the Bucs will probably, they got 4 games left. I can see them probably going 2-2, something like that. Saints probably the same thing. Atlanta probably the same thing. The game that I have really circled on the calendar, Jason, is the game a week from Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts.
Right. That's
a game that, if they win that, they could really put themselves in pretty good shape.
Sure. Assuming
they lose tomorrow to the 49ers, they could get back to 5-6 with those 4 division games still ahead of them. But that's the game that I give it a 50-50 chance. I think the Bucs and the Colts are about even as far as talent is concerned. I think that game is really a toss-up.
Well, it is. That is a toss-up, and obviously, so that's one you'd like to see them win. But even a game like tomorrow, and then later on they play Jacksonville, and if they could win, pull an upset in one of those 2 games, that would go a long way. But ultimately, I think what's going to determine whether or not this team wins the division and makes the playoffs is how they do against their divisional opponents. I think it's very reasonable to think if they play like they're capable of playing, the Bucs, that they could win, take the 3 out of the next 4 of the division. And if they do, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to beat Carolina twice. They've already beaten New Orleans once. And, and the Atlanta game, Atlanta is just not very good. Since Atlanta beat the Bucs, they haven't won a game since. So I think we could even go back and beat Atlanta. In Atlanta. I just don't think there's any reason why they can't win almost all of these division games. And if they do that and have the a great division record with the inconsistency of the other teams of that division, I think that is going to win them the division.
Otis has the Bucs losing 35-13 and 49ers winning 21-7 at halftime. Give us a call, Otis. Always good to hear from you. 727-441-3000.
having said that real quick, even if they lose to the 49ers tomorrow, I think it's important that they're competitive, that they just don't get demolished.
We don't want a 41-7
no,
game.
Exactly, because I think that the Bucs with that win last week got some of their confidence back. It revitalized the team in many, many ways. Things they were not in a good place. So I think at least if they can stay close, keep the game close tomorrow, that's going to give them confidence moving forward.
John from Clearwater has the Bucs losing by a score of 31-21, and the 49ers leading at halftime 17-10. So those are our first two entries into the contest. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome to. 727-441-3000. USF still has a chance to go to a bowl game. In fact, I think they're going to be somewhat heavily favored in their game next Saturday against Charlotte. They lost last night, but most people thought they would lose that game to a good UTSA team.
The Roadrunners, by the way.
Roadrunners.
The team's nickname.
Yeah, University of Texas at San Antonio. They're going up against a team that is probably not on their level in Charlotte next week. And it's a home game. It's their final game of the regular season. This is where they normally were playing UCF. And, of course, that rivalry went away.
Right.
But one of the things that I think is key is if they can make a bowl game, and somebody was joking that they may get the bowl game that's right here in Tampa if they get their bowl eligible, which most guys want to go on a trip and go somewhere else.
Yeah, when you consider the fact that this team won a grand total of 4 games in 3 seasons under Jeff Scott. What Alex Golesh has done this season has been quite remarkable.
Well, just to clarify for those who don't know, it's 6 wins get you bowl eligible?
Yes.
It is 6 wins. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that for those who don't know.
They have 5 right now.
And it used to be, well, of course, you figured for a while the regular season there were only 11 games. When they switched it to 12, you would teams would either go 6-5 or 5-6. But I also thought that you needed a certain number of wins. Like the wins against the lower division teams didn't necessarily count, but I think they do. At least one of them does.
Yeah, I think that's the way it works.
They have a win over Florida A&M, but nonetheless, look, as it is right now, they've already had a tremendously improved. They're a tremendously improved team, but to go 6-6. First year under Alex Golesh to make a bowl game, that's a big deal. That's really, this team is moving in the right direction. So it looks like after several times of hiring coaches that didn't work out, and some of them surprisingly so didn't work out, you had to scratch your head about why some of the coaches who had previous experience and had good records with other teams came here and didn't work out. But it looks like they have the right coach in Alex Golesh. And what I like about him and hearing him talk, he sounds like he's here for the long run.
I hope so.
And you never know. You never know. Obviously, if he continues to have success here, other programs are going to come knocking. But I think one of the things he emphasized was USF getting an on-campus stadium, and he felt that was such a big deal. And that's actually one of the reasons he came to this program. And he really sounds like he wants to be in Tampa at USF for the long term. He wants his family to be here. He wants to be here, and he's not just
stepping stone.
Not just using it, for a stepping stone, like Willie Taggart did. Willie Taggart did a good job of turning the program around, but then when the first opportunity to go to a bigger program arose, he took it.
Or like Deion Sanders is doing in Colorado. I think he wants to go to the NFL, and he's hoping he can jump into the NFL from there.
We'll see. But the thing is, but Alex Golesh has done a great job in his first season at USF, and that's a very positive thing for Bulls fans to look at. That we finally we really haven't had a solid coach since Jim Leavitt, when you think about it. I mean, again, Taggart did a good job, but he was looking to go elsewhere. But since Jim Leavitt, it's been a bunch of hires and misses. And that's why the program just hasn't been that good. And that's also the reason USF really couldn't couldn't go to a better conference, because they couldn't justify it. They were a bad football team.
We asked the question on Facebook of will the Bucks win the division, and both John and the Rubber Cement Man have said no, which is a bit of a surprise. But my question to both John and the Rubber Cement Man is, who's going to win the division then? You got an Atlanta team that's lost, 3 in a row?
3 in a row since beating the Bucks.
You've got a New Orleans team that is up and down, the mediocre, and you can already write Carolina off.
Yes.
So if the Bucks don't win the division, John and Rubber Cement Man, who will win the division?
Prior to last week's game, I would say the Bucks would not win the division because I did not think that they were going to be able to turn things around. But getting that win, and of course, then seeing New Orleans and Atlanta continue to struggle. Okay, at least for this week. Now, depending on what happens this week, the things can change. But I think right now, I think the Bucks are still the best team. I mean, if they looked last week against Tennessee like the team that we saw the first 4 games, playing great defense, and the offense, while not great, was efficient. They made plays when they had to. They took care of the football and did what they needed to do to get the win. So if they play that way, I do think the Bucks are the best team in the division.
Just for the record, John says New Orleans and the Rubber Cement Man says Atlanta.
Okay.
So they're even split on that.
The season it's very unpredictable, and there's a lot of games left still, and a lot can happen. And the one thing you can never predict is injuries. We saw this Thursday night game, devastating injuries to both teams, especially Cincinnati with Joe Burrow. I mean, I think there went their season. Not only did they lose, but to lose Joe Burrow for the season, that's pretty much it for Cincinnati. Injuries can drastically change the course for a team.
Let's go to the phone lines. We have Otis standing by. Glad he joined us. Hello, Otis. You're on the home team.
How are you, Paul and Jason?
Doing good. Good to hear from you.
Hey, let me just start by saying last Sunday before the game, I live way out in Odessa. And anyway, Tampa resident, so I grew up with ABC Pizza. And before the game last week, I drove from Odessa all the way out to the Roman Hillsborough store.
You're outstanding.
Well, I said to them, I got my order, and I told them, they asked me where I lived, and I told them Odessa. They go, well, thanks for coming out. I said, there's only one reason I'm out here, because I can get a pizza anywhere, but you got good pizza, is the Paul Porter and Jason Leslie show with the home team. And they said, you know what? We're hearing that a lot. So you guys have been effective there.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Boy, thank
so
you.
glad
Thanks
to hear
for
that.
mentioning that too.
And that'll be a nice venue for your Christmas party too.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're looking forward to that. I'm glad you mentioned that, Otis, because we have our party coming up on Saturday, December the 9th at the ABC Pizza. And again, for those of you that don't know, we're having it from noon until 2 p.m., and you'll be able to come in. We'll have pizza for you. We'll have drinks for you, soft drinks. If you want to order something else off the menu, you're more than welcome to do that, but that will be on your nickel, not mine. But we will provide pizza and drinks for you. I'm sorry, Otis, what's that?
And they do have beer.
Yes. So if you want a beer, you're welcome to order that. But we're only paying for the pizza and the soft drinks. So
okay.
And we're paying for the water too. I should point that out. The tap water, So I just want to. So people say, "Oh, you're only buying 2 things." No, the water's the 3rd thing we're buying. So, but I hope you can make it, Otis. We'd love to see you there.
I'd like to do that. Hey, Paul. I know you. I'll be brief here. I know you got a lot of calls. But every week you guys get a lot of the same calls. But there's one guy I really like, and he really provides a lot of good, interesting thought, and that's Anthony.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
He's a regular. He's a regular caller and a good guy, and he's done so much for the show. He's also supported Reach Out, Speak Out. So he's a good guy, and we value him as far as the program is concerned.
Quite intelligent.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Otis, you've got down the 49ers winning 35-15 and halftime score 21-7. So you don't see it being much of a game tomorrow.
No, but I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Not many people will admit that, but that's big of you to do that, Otis. Absolutely.
Hey, I want to leave you with a question as I head out here.
Sure.
Is it possible that Vasilevsky is to Cooper what Brady was to Belichick?
Good point. The only thing I would differ on that, and feel free to weigh in, Jason. The only way I would differ on that is that Cooper also had a guy by the name of Ben Bishop that prior to Vasilevsky that got them all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, even though they didn't win it in 2015. He got them there. So Brady is kind of like, just in a class by himself, I think. Vasilevsky, still one of the best goaltenders. I'm very anxious to see how he does when he comes back, which I'm hearing should be possibly this week or next week for sure. So we're very close to seeing Andre back in goal.
It always helps a coach when you have some of the best players. I mean, that makes the players make you be a better coach, I think, and certainly the record-wise. But Cooper did make it to the finals with Bishop. Before Vasilevsky became the. He was on the team, but we didn't know he was going to be the star that he became. So I think that's it. Belichick, I think with the Browns, he made the playoffs just one season. As with Testaverde was a quarterback, the '94 season. Outside of that. He did not have that much success there, and and of course the other years he was just the defensive coordinator. So really his whole career in New England was helped because of Brady and the development. Brady becoming the star quarterback that he did.
Mm-hmm. Good question, though. Good point. Otis, thank you so much. Always good to hear from you.
All right, guys. Be well.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate that. Someone wanted to know if John and the First Lady are going to grace us with their presence on the December 9th for the pizza party at Alessi Bakery, or not Alessi Bakery, at ABC Pizza.
Yes.
And I think they are. I believe they will be there. By the way, the Christmas presents arrived yesterday to the Porter household, and boy, you're going to like this. I'm not going to tell anybody what it is, but just take it from me. You want to be there on December the 9th to pick up this very nice Christmas present. So just a word to the wise. You're going to be there, right, Jason?
Oh, of course, yes.
All right. Saturday, December the 9th, from noon to 2 at ABC Pizza.
And I always think, I'm at the point here, I always say this to be, I don't need any Christmas presents. We get to the point, I think that's, it's always a thought that counts. It's a very nice gesture. I think as you become an adult, get a little older, we realize we really don't need anything,
It's not what's under the tree, it's who's around it that's more important.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Perfect
too.
example of that. My son asked me the other day what I wanted for Christmas, and I said, I really don't have any particular need. There's a place I go for my iced tea that I'm not going to promote them on the air, but that I go for my iced tea. And if you want to get me a gift card for that, I can have a year's worth of iced tea. That'd be great.
Yeah. It's health and peace of mind. I think that's what comes out. What do you want? Health, good health and peace of mind.
Well, I was very, very impressed that my son came up with this idea. And he says, how about if I pay for your airline ticket to come up to see me? And so that's my Christmas present, a trip up there to see him and stay with him and spend a week or so there. So looking forward to that. Absolutely. Want to say hello to Matthew Solomon, also watching today on Facebook Live. A couple of other things that I want to get to. The Magic got a win last night over the Chicago Bulls. It was ironic, the two games between the Magic and the Bulls on Wednesday and Friday, in that the Magic jumped out to a big lead and had to hold on at the end, but in both cases they did. And on Wednesday, Paolo Banchero got a turnaround jumper as time expired, and the Magic end up with the win. And then last night, they were off to a big lead again and then had to hold on and still came through and got it. So they're 7-5 now, but they're without Jalen Suggs. They're without Wendell Carter Jr. They're without Markelle Fultz. And I'm starting to think, oh no, here we go again. The injury bug that has hurt this team for so many years. Is it starting to creep up again?
Well, I mean, hopefully they're not going to be out for long. I don't know how the extent of the injuries or what they're how much time they're expected to miss, but the hope is it's not going to be serious.
Yeah, I don't think any of the three are serious.
That's good.
And they're managing to get some wins even without them.
Yeah, and again, it is still early, and when you have, it's kind of like with the Lightning. It's when you have an 82 game regular season, the key is to stay competitive, stay right around 500. I think don't and eventually the hope is you're eventually going to hit your stride and start reeling off a lot of wins in a row. And you don't want to get in a hole early. That's the key. You don't want to go on a major losing streak. So I think the Magic at 7-5 are in pretty good shape. That's they're going to be
they're seventh right now, and that would be a playoff spot. Actually, you have to be in the top 10 because they have the play-in
game
tournament.
Which they did a couple of years ago. Yeah, but the Magic, I think, are going to be a playoff team. Granted, again, that they can stay relatively healthy throughout the season. I think they're good. They have talented players. I could see them being anywhere from a number 6 to a number 4 seed, in my opinion.
That's about where I have.
I think that's very reasonable. And the hope is with this group, as they continue to play together and grow, they'll get even better through the years. And you figure if they get to a place where they're consistently good, that could capture the eye of some other potential free agents later, good veterans who might want to come here that could add their presence. I think back to the 95 team when they added, of course, a couple years prior they added Horace Grant. They added Horace Grant and some others to that team. Your players want to go play for a winner or a team that they think is on the rise. And that can make the difference too when you already have a decent team.
What do we have today as far as college football is concerned?
There, some of the bigger games I know at 3:30, Georgia and Tennessee SEC battle. Georgia is hitting its stride. I think the Bulldogs are the best team. I just don't see anyone beating them.
Ohio State?
Over Ohio State, over Michigan, over Florida State. Yeah, I think Georgia's the best team. And they are now, not only are they winning now, they're blowing teams out. They've blown out some good teams. So while Tennessee, I believe the game is in Knoxville, there's always that chance they could step up and give them a good game, but Georgia looks pretty strong. But that's an intriguing game. You've got another two ranked teams, Utah versus Arizona. You've got later tonight, really the big one of the day, I think, is Washington versus Oregon State. Washington is undefeated, ranked number 5. They're eyeing a playoff spot. And Oregon State is, I believe, number 11 or number 12. That's going to be a good test for them. So that's a big matchup there. And in-state, Florida is reeling. They got problems. They're playing against Missouri, a very good Missouri team later tonight.
They finish with Florida State.
So really, if Florida does not find a way to win tonight over Missouri, they could be looking at a losing season. And Billy Napier is going to be under fire, and he's going to be definitely on the hot seat because of this. They have not shown any sign of improvement. Miami's also playing, I believe, at noon against Louisville.
All right, so that's what we have to look forward to college football wise. Before we hit a break, I wanted to get your thoughts on the plethora of football that is on. I know you're a big football fan, Jason, but it's virtually on every night of the week now. You have college games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. You have the NFL on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. So Is there too much going on now? I was channel surfing the other night, and I saw the game between Miami of Ohio and Buffalo, and there couldn't have been more than 300 people in the stands.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be every night. I'm not a fan. I don't watch the games with the some of the smaller conference games with like this, the Mid-American Conference USA, those kinds. I just don't have any interest in that. The Thursday night game, the NFL game, of course, now I get Amazon Prime, so I do watch that. I think they could do without that.
Me too.
I know usually in the past there is a college game on Thursday night, which is a pretty good matchup that we would watch there.
I think more importantly is that we're seeing the Thursday night injuries creep up more and more and more. Some really key players.
It is.
Burrow's just going out. Some really key players that are getting injured.
Mark Andrews.
And it's just
the tight end from Baltimore, Mark Andrews.
It's just too close. Sunday to Thursday.
I could do that. Listen, I'm a football fan, so I do. I mean, it's something to look forward to. I enjoy it. I watch it. I think they could do without it. I think to keep it, NFL games Sundays. You have the Monday night game. If you want to do a Thursday night game, a few Thursday night games sprinkled into the schedule, a few. But not every Thursday night. I would be fine with that. They used to actually do that where you had, maybe you had 3 or 4 Thursday night games throughout the course of the entire regular season, and that was it. So if you want to go back to something like that, that would be fine.
I would like to see the opening game that they do on Thursday night, which is usually the defending Super Bowl champion and somebody pretty good against them, and then the Thanksgiving games. I think I wouldn't want to see them do away with that. I actually do like the fact that there are now 3 games on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Used to be 2 for a long time, and prior to that, it was only 1, just the Detroit game. I'm fine with that, but other than that, I'd leave the Thursday games alone.
Yeah, I would too.
I know it's big money with Apple and all that, and Prime,
Amazon
Prime.
Yeah. I agree. I don't necessarily think you need it. I find I might watch other sports. I watch other things, maybe like movies or TV shows. You don't really need football is big, but to me it is meant more for the weekend.
Let's take a break, and then Corey Long is going to join us on the other side. If you have a question or comment or want to join us, please do. 727-441-3000. Or, of course, you can go to the Home Team with Paul Porter. We are live on Facebook today, as we are each and every Saturday, and you can enter the contest there. You can also make your comments there. And Rubber Cement Man says, why not football every night? Baseball and hockey and basketball have it, but those sports are, at least for baseball and basketball, a lot less physical contact than what you have with football.
You play a lot of games during the regular season. Football, not as many games. You play once a week. Once a week, and you do need time in between those games to rest up and recuperate. Yes.
More of the Home Team coming up on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, FM 106.1, and FM 102.3. And as so many have joined on Facebook
Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
There's no place like this place anywhere near this place, so this must be the place. That's what they've been saying about the Palm Pavilion since 1926. The Palm Pavilion on the north end of the sparkling beach is a Clearwater beach landmark. Situated directly on the beach overlooking the Gulf of Mexico, the Palm Pavilion is the place to order cool tropical drinks and watch spectacular sunsets. Tempt your taste buds with perfect pasta, sizzling steaks, chicken or seafood wraps, shrimp and crab chowder. Come for a day or stay for the night. A casual atmosphere featuring live entertainment on the deck. The Palm Pavilion Inn and Beachside Grill and Bar on sparkling Clearwater Beach. Visit them on the web at palmpavilion.com, or better yet, visit in person, 10 Bay Esplanade on the north end of Clearwater Beach. The Palm Pavilion Inn and Beachside Grill.
We're very happy to have with us today from the Grace Family Church, the senior executive pastor, Chris Bonham. Chris, why is Grace Family Church so popular among all different ages?
Well, I think we work really hard to appeal to all different ages. We want a message that is universal. We know the love of God appeals to all people and it applies to all people, but we also want to do it in ways that practically reaches them. So on all ages, we try to do a message that meets them right where they're at. So whether it's children, youth, adults, our messages, our topics, the way we deliver, we try to be very age appropriate. Some people like older people like me, and then they like some of our younger guys. Oh, this one might be more challenging. But in the end, they're getting a full, robust teaching.
I'm still trying to find a pastor as old as I am, but I'll keep looking. So check it out. The Grace Family Church, now 7 locations to choose from. The new location in Clearwater at Grace Family Church, plus online. You'll find them at gfcflorida.com.
This is Paul Porter. For the past 12 years, we've not endorsed an air conditioning company on the home team. Until now, I'm happy to tell you about the family-owned and operated air conditioning company, Action Air Conditioning. David Russell and his family run their business with 3 principles in mind: honesty, integrity, and reliability. They've been in business since 1988. They service the entire home team listing area. From service to AC checkups to a whole new system, Action Air Conditioning is the AC company for you. Why do I speak so highly of Action Air Conditioning? I've used them many times at multiple properties, and I've been completely satisfied every time. Visit them on the web at actionairconditioning.com. That's actionairconditioning.com. Or you can call them at 813-935-6644. If you're in need of an air conditioning company, take it from me. Action Air is your company. 813-935-6644. 813-935-6644. ActionAirConditioning.com.
Did you know that 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men are victims of domestic violence at some point in their lives? Domestic violence is an equal opportunity offender. It knows no boundaries of race, sex, age, income level, or education level. Reach Out, Speak Out is a nonprofit 501c3 ministry that helps domestic violence victims with the basic necessities of life, including food, clothing, rent, counseling, and more. As we approach the end of the year, would you or your business consider a year-end donation to Reach Out, Speak Out? We're currently helping 5 different families, and your donation is entirely tax-deductible. Your donation can go a long way to helping our families during this holiday season. Just send your donation to P.O. Box 9979, Tampa, Florida, 33677. That's Reach Out, Speak Out, P.O. Box 9979, Tampa, Florida, 33677. Have a happy holiday season, and thank you for helping those that are going through a difficult time in their lives.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And I just want to make a small correction of myself. It's actually Post Office Box 4979. I said 9979. I think I was half asleep when I wrote that. But it's Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida, 33677 for Reach Out, Speak Out. And I will get that corrected for next week. Let's continue along. We've got Corey Long joining us. And Corey, thanks for joining us. Welcome back to the home team.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Doing fine, thanks. And I want to get your thoughts on a couple of different things that you're very active in. And let's start with the Bucks. Did they save their season, at least temporarily, with that win last week?
Well, given that they won, you had some other guys in the conference, the division lose. We talked about this earlier. I think, is 8 and 9 going to win that division? Possibly. So, as long as they can stay within striking distance of the Saints and the Falcons, and they're all kind of bunched up in there together right now, they should, the season should last, they could last through a couple of losses. As long as they win the games they're supposed to win, they'll have a chance, come week 18.
Well, what are the games they're supposed to win, do you feel, Corey?
Well, they've got 2 against the Panthers. Those are must-win.
Mm-hmm.
They've got 1 against the Colts, which I think they should be able to win. The Colts are running a backup quarterback right now, so I think those are the 3 that you point at that say, if you can win those 3, you still got some division games after that. You still got a couple more division games after that. That puts you in a spot where maybe going into that going into that final week of the season, I think they play the Saints in the final week of the season, so you've got
Carolina,
got a chance.
actually, yeah.
Excuse me, Carolina in the final week of the season. But no, I mean, I think, when do they play the Saints?
Prior to that. I think the Saints is on a New Year's Eve game, in fact. I think.
Yeah, yes. you want that Saints New Year's Eve game to really be the deciding factor. You want to be in a spot where if you can win the final two, you'll get in. So as long as they can kind of keep themselves in that spot, I think they're okay.
Corey, what kind of shot do you give them in tomorrow's game? I know in the past they have never done well on the West Coast. The 49ers obviously are a very good team. Of course, they recently had a 3-game losing streak themselves. But, do you see that the Bucs able to hang with them and possibly pull it out late? Or do you look for them to get maybe to get dominated or blown out? What kind of realistic shot do you look to see if they could win that game tomorrow?
Oh, they've just had so many bad trips to San Francisco.
Yep.
I mean, so many bad trips to there. I don't see it being. Honestly, I don't see it being much of a contest tomorrow. And it's not so much. And I think San Francisco is a much better team. I think we're not lying to anybody when we say they're a much better football team, but. It's also just the Bucs are so bad there, and have been historically. I think they've won
2010 with Raheem Morris. I think they won, of course, but San Francisco was a bad team that year.
Yeah.
I want to say that was the last time they won up there, though.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I think they won with Jameis in 16.
Oh, that's you're right. You're right. They did play that. Yeah.
Corey, is it important though? And I know. Probably everyone is thinking, well, if we win this game, it'll be a real bonus. But is it important for the players to go out there and not expect to lose or not think, well, we're probably can't win this game, or they still have to treat this as though it's one of 17 games or one of 16 games, and really have an attitude that, if we play right and we do the things we're capable of doing, that we could pull this out.
Yeah, I mean, you go into every game believing you should win, believing you have a chance to win, believing. I mean, if you don't think you're going to win, don't bother practicing during the week. Don't waste the effort, guys. Mm-hmm. So. I think they think they're going to win. If they're the only, 53 or 46 when you actually put the field roster out there that think they're going to win, that's fine. That's the only 46 people that matter at the end of the day. So, yeah, I mean, they think they should think they're going to win. They should feel like their defense can travel on the road. They're starting to get much better production from Rachaad White, not necessarily always as a running back, but in the receiving game. I think they've at least figured out how to utilize him well. Mm-hmm. So they've got some things that I think you can do on the road. The problem is, can their offensive line hold up against, now it's not just Bosa, but, we saw
Chase Young
and single, when now he only has to deal with single blocking all game. He's a different guy, and obviously he's just a different guy because he's out of Washington. So, the Niners, they present so many issues from an offensive standpoint with the talent and speed that they put out on the field. This secondary has not always shined brightly despite the talent back there. And, and you worry about the matchups tomorrow, especially the way that the Niners scheme guys to get open, the way they use Kittle, the way they use AU, Devo, McCaffrey. You can go down the line. They present a lot of problems to any football team. I mean, let's be honest. It's not like the Jaguars are probably a playoff team and they got run off the field. They run off their own field. Yeah. The Cowboys are a playoff team. They got absolutely demolished. So no one should feel bad if they don't match up well against the San Francisco 49ers. They're a really good team that had a bad stretch of games there, but I think I expected them to come strong out of the bye week. They did. I expect them to be strong down the stretch of the season. So,
Corey, do you feel, obviously we've got half the season left to still play, and it's up in the air, but what you've seen thus far with Baker Mayfield, do you have a feeling that Mayfield will be back next year as our starting quarterback, or are we going to move on to someone else?
I don't know. He hasn't played poorly. As I said, said to somebody else, I think he continues to show that there's a place for him in the NFL. Is that necessarily as a starter? He is what he is, and you're seeing it, and it's not a bad player. At times, he can be very good. At times, he can be, less overwhelming. I think if you had to just kind of throw a ranking on him, he's a, as I like to say, he's a bottom half second tier quarterback. Maybe, and that's probably where he is. And that's fine if you've got a lot of pieces around him. But I think given the depth of the quarterbacks in this upcoming draft, I think you have to look at an arm, because Kyle Trask, clearly they don't think he could play, or we'd have seen him by now. So, I mean, just for the overall wellness of your football roster and what you're trying to do, both short term and long term, I don't think you can invest too highly in Baker Mayfield. Can they bring him back on another 1-year deal? I think that's probably that's very possible. Can he decide to look for maybe a little bit more term somewhere else? That's also possible. So,
Corey, we only got a couple of minutes left, but I want to switch over to the Lightning if we can. They've got an afternoon game today against Edmonton at 4:00. They're right in the middle of the pack pretty much, and we're hearing Andrei Vasilevsky may be back, if not later this week, maybe the first part of next week.
Yeah, it's a countdown now. I think anything from Monday on is a possibility at this point. This is kind of a funny week because they're packing 3 games in 4.5 days. But I could see them playing in one. Like I said, you got Boston on Monday, Winnipeg on Wednesday. So there's some possibilities there.
I'm kind of thinking maybe the Winnipeg game on Wednesday, that might be a shot for them.
Yeah, I think I'm more leaning towards that one. At first, I was thinking it could be Boston, but they might wait another game. It just it just depends on how. At this point, I think it more depends on how he feels. I think their schedule for him is whatever he if he decides on Monday he's ready to go. I don't think they're going to hold him back anymore. I think he's at a point where once he's ready, they're going to put him in. They're going to put him in the lineup.
And where the Lightning are now, based on not having, many would say, their best player, or certainly could make an argument their best player, I think they're holding their own as far as the standings are concerned. We're right in the middle of the pack, but still very much in contention.
Yeah, they're they've had some opportunities for that record to be a little better, and I think that's a little frustrating because you look at the previous road trip, you blow big lead to Toronto, should have had 2 points, only get 1. You look at obviously didn't get anything on that short home stand, and those things I think really were frustrating because they do want to try to get these points where they can, but I don't 7-6-4. It's they're okay. They're fine. I think given the situation that they were handed to start the season, I think they've hung in there. It's just I love for if they can actually get this overtime thing together. I think that you look at it, you might have 2 or 3 more points, and you hope come down the stretch. We're talking in March or April, and those points aren't the difference. If you don't look back and say, hey, if we'd have held that lead against Toronto or played a better period against the Kraken or things like that, or just not completely imploded against the Blackhawks team that they should have beat. We just have a minute left, Corey, but I want to get your thoughts. A Facebook Live question: will Vasilevsky be rusty coming back? I mean, he'll be game rusty, but I mean, that guy works. That guy he's a hard worker. He'll be ready to go when he says he's ready. He's ready. So I mean, I think we'll expect the we'll expect a big cat as we've known him.
All right, Corey, thank you so much. Always good to have you on. Appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. You guys take care.
All right. Stay with us. We have hour number 2 of the home team coming up here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Christopher Cruz. The Israeli military this morning is denying claims that it ordered the evacuation of Shifa Hospital, the largest in Gaza. Almost everyone is left except those who couldn't be moved and the medical staff caring for them. We get more now from CBS's Robert Berger in Jerusalem.
The evacuation of Shifa is significant because the hospital is currently the main target of Israeli military operations. Israel says Hamas military headquarters is located in tunnels under the hospital. Now, it's important for Israel to prove that because there are growing allegations that targeting the hospital amounts to a war crime.
Israel is allowing 2 trucks of fuel into Gaza per day for humanitarian needs and for communications services to continue. This developing story now, a SpaceX rocket and the spacecraft on top of it exploded this morning about 8 minutes after launch. SpaceX said the ship's self-destruct system blew it up over the Gulf of Mexico. Minutes earlier, the separated booster also exploded. SpaceX is hoping to salvage some information from the shortened flight as it prepares for another launch of a system that owner Elon Musk hopes will someday help humans colonize Mars. Donald Trump got some good news from a judge for a change, but with a twist.
A Colorado state judge in Denver holds that Trump was involved in insurrection in the January 6th riot of his followers, but lets him stay on that state's primary ballot on a technical point involving the wording of the Constitution's 14th Amendment. That decision follows similar ones in Minnesota and Michigan and is expected to be appealed.
CBS's Tom Foti. A storm is developing along the middle part of the country, says the Weather Channel meteorologist Kelly Cass.
Wednesday being the busiest travel day, the day before Thanksgiving, looks very wet for the 95 corridor, that's for sure. That rain is going to add up, but we do need it across the south. One model wants to deliver quite a bit of rain, but also watching out for the snow potential in upstate New York and the higher elevations.
New data shows many families are facing severe financial challenges as they care for older relatives.
You've probably watched neighbors or relatives struggling to pay for care for an elderly family member. And Rita Shula at the AARP says some are sending loved ones to nursing homes because
they don't have access to quality care.
And even if people can take care of seniors with medical conditions at home,
there are huge out-of-pocket costs that are associated with that.
Shula says part of the problem is that there's no clear system of long-term care in the nation. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
It was 20 years ago today that the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court ruled that the state constitution guaranteed gay couples the right to marry. This is CBS News.
You don't need a job platform. You need a hiring partner. Indeed lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credits.
This is Downtown Dade. How would you like to be able to promote yourself, your business, or someone else's business for less than the cost of one 60-second commercial on many Tampa Bay radio stations? Here's the deal. You can have your own 1-hour radio program on the Tan Talk Network for less than the cost of one 60-second announcement on many Tampa Bay stations. Your program will be on 2 Tampa Bay radio stations and will cover 4 million people in Florida, plus worldwide on the internet in both audio and video. And you'll have a web link for your business on the Tan Talk 1340 website. We provide the producer, the state-of-the-art equipment, free production of commercials, and much more. Check it out today. Call Lola O'Brien, the Irish Hawaiian, at 727-510-7622. That's 510-7622. Call Lola O'Brien now, 727-510-7622. Call now and your 1-hour radio program can start tomorrow. Call 510-7622 for Lola O'Brien, the Irish Hawaiian, at the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Do you have questions after being injured in a car accident or injured because of someone's negligence? Do you feel overwhelmed or uncertain about the next steps after being injured in a crash? The personal injury attorneys at Perronick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes have been helping their injured clients since 1955 and are now on this radio station to provide guidance to you. Listen to FLA Law each Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Let their decades of experience help you and your family. Offices in Clearwater, non-attorney spokesman.
Thinking about starting your own business? Then you need to listen to the Entrepreneur Opportunity Hour every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. There's nothing more rewarding than starting your own business. Gene and Mr. Dukes will bring you tips and advice from themselves and other entrepreneurs that will help you get started. Have you already started your own business? Then call in and share your story to help other entrepreneurs. That's the Entrepreneur Opportunity Hour every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network. Caregivers find the support they need on Connecting Caregivers Radio with Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver. Heard every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m., Linda and her caring and knowledgeable guests will bring you education, information, and resources, as well as a shoulder for caregivers. That's Connecting Caregivers Radio with Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver, where you can find help and hope every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Ain't it good? Tune in from 6 to 7 p.m. Tuesday nights for Becoming an Actor with David Sarkuza. David's got months and months of experience producing, writing, and acting. He's known as a huge Hollywood star by many friends and family members in the Hollywood of the East, Clearwater, Florida. And now he's willing to share all that accumulated knowledge and expertise since 2021 with you, his favorite listeners, in just 1 short hour. Becoming an Actor with David Sarkuza will help you learn all of the things that David wished he knew before he stepped onto his first set as an actor.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk. Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
The Rays have won the American League pennant. The Tampa Bay Lightning win their second straight Stanley Cup.
When the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the home team. The home team is brought to you in part by Grace Family Church. Just try it. By Tampa Bay area Chick-fil-A restaurants, by Vermost Insurance, by Mahoney's Auto Repair, by the Palm Pavilion on Clearwater Beach, by Irish 31, the place to catch your favorite team in action, by Iceman Development LLC. And now here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
And we welcome you to hour number 2 of the home team. So glad to have you with us. Mike joining us on Facebook Live for hour number 2. He's got the Bucs losing 31-13 and 17-10 at halftime in favor of the 49ers. That's how he sees it. Well, Jason, for the procrastinators, Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday, just 5 days from now. And is there still time to order your Thanksgiving dinner at Alessi Vegas?
There is still time. Yes, I recommend to do it as soon as you can. But absolutely, if you're looking for a Thanksgiving meal, we've got a turkey dinner, we've got a spiral cut ham dinner, and the roast pork dinner. And of course, the turkey dinner and the spiral cut ham dinner, they come with aside from the main the main meats there, they come with the homemade stuffing, gravy, mashed potatoes. You get your choice of vegetables, either green beans, vegetable medley, or glazed carrots. Comes with sweet potato casserole, cranberry sauce, and you also get your choice of a 9-inch pie, whether it be apple or pumpkin pie, and also a dozen eggnog dinner rolls. And then the roast pork dinner, it comes with a Cuban-style roast pork marinated in the mojo juice with either yellow rice or white rice. You get black beans, the sweet plantains, and also, again, your choice of a pie, apple or pumpkin pie, and a loaf of Cuban bread. So we've got those. And again, if you just wanted to get not the whole dinner, but just pork or just turkey or just ham, you can order that by itself. You can also order any sides by themselves. You don't have to get the whole package if you want.
All right. Very good. If you want to order yours, like Jason was saying, the sooner the better.
Yes,
right?
and you give us a call. Our number to Leslie Bakery is area code 813-879-4544, and or you can also come on by in the store. I know we're located at 2909 West Cypress Street, in between MacDill and Armenia. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sundays 9 to 4. We will be closed Thanksgiving Day, Thursday the 23rd. We will be closed, but the day prior to that, Wednesday the 22nd, will be open regular hours, 8 to 5.
All right, very good. So keep that in mind. Question we had on Facebook Live, I want to throw that out on the air as well, and that is, of all of the sides for Thanksgiving, and we're not talking just what Alessi has, but of all of the sides that could be at the Thanksgiving table, what is the one must-have for you, Jason? What would it not be Thanksgiving without this side?
I've really grown to like the stuffing. The stuffing is a big deal for me. That's really, really good. It's just a great compliment to the turkey or anything else for that matter. So I would probably say the stuffing is the big side item.
All right, Matt, do you have a favorite side that you have to have at the Thanksgiving table?
I got two. I got stuffing and I got mac and cheese.
Okay, if you had to get rid of one of them, though, if you could only have one, what would it be?
Mac and cheese.
Okay.
Keep the mac and cheese, get rid of the stuffing.
All right. Mashed potatoes for me.
With
1, 2, or 3 sticks of butter. You know, I'm not a gravy guy.
Neither am I.
I like the butter with the mashed potatoes, and you can never put too much butter on it as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Mashed potatoes mixed in with a little chopped chives.
The chives, yep.
Yep.
John says stuffing and sweet potatoes, but again, we're asking for that one.
You know, another item I really didn't like as a kid, but I've come to really, really like more as an adult is the cranberries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the cranberries is become one of my favorite items too.
Do you use cranberry sauce out of a can, or do you guys make it from scratch, Jason?
The what? No, we make it from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not really it's more like I love the whole cranberry just sliced. Yeah, that's kind of my favorite that we get.
727-441-3000. Also, you can join us on Facebook Live, the home team with Paul Porter. You're welcome to jump in there as well. Again, we want to remind you our Christmas party is coming up on Saturday, December the 9th at ABC Pizza. They're located on Hillsborough Avenue, right just a little bit east of Rome Avenue, and very easy to get to, and great pizza there. Yep. As you heard earlier, Otis was out there. You were there again last night.
I was there last night. We're going to have the leftover pizzas for tonight for dinner.
There you go.
And I had to segue in. I'm sure you've seen the commercial that aired years ago where there was the Bud Light commercial. The farmer is sharpening his axe. He's going outside to get the turkey, you know, to do him in, to beat him for Thanksgiving. And the turkey whips out a Bud Light. You know, he gives the guy a Bud Light to say, please don't kill me.
Yeah.
And the next thing you see, the guy's got a box of pizza in the middle of the table with his family looking on, says, Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
His pizza for Thanksgiving. That was the truce with him and the turkey with the Bud Light. That was always a funny one, I thought.
There you go. Let's go back to the phone lines. Anthony is with us. Anthony, welcome to the home team.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I don't know if you heard earlier in the program, but you got a compliment on the air from one of our other listeners as to your knowledge of sports.
Just a fan. Basically, just about speaking my opinion, and that's pretty much it. That's what we're so thankful for your program that we can actually are given the time to speak our minds and we can counter oppose each other, whatever. But that freedom that you give us here as fans. So yeah, if I can echo the Bobby the Chief Taylor concerning these guys in hockey that are given all these accolades, yet they have not won a Stanley Cup. Then I'm pointing to McDavid and Austin Matthews. McKinnon won a cup that last year, but it was a long time coming. So yet some of our guys like Point and Kucherov they seem not to get the notoriety that they deserve, which is kind of lacking in hockey. It kind of shows the dismal intelligence of some of the big heads up in the upper sphere of expertise, quote unquote.
Connor McDavid at Amalie Arena this afternoon with the Edmonton Oilers coming in.
Is part of the problem in hockey not being able to market as superstars because so many players are foreign? Is that a big issue in the United States, or is that you think that it's not? It's something different than that.
I'd like to say no. That's a very good question. I'd like to say no, but realistically, I think that is the case. They look for the all-American boy, the Sidney Crosby.
Well, they did it a little with Ovechkin when Ovechkin came into the league with Crosby at the same time.
Yeah, but people just didn't like Ovechkin.
I know some people still don't.
Yeah. Connor McDavid. People are looking at him as the all-American guy.
Austin Matthews in Toronto.
And the guy with the Blackhawks.
Connor Bedard.
Yeah. So I think there's something to that. It's unfortunate because it shouldn't be the case.
No, it shouldn't. Or maybe the name. But then again, you look at, the NBA has, Luka Doncic. They had Dirk Nowitzki years ago. Other guys who have come on big there. But I just don't. You just wonder, could the NHL do a better job of marketing its star players?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you obviously know a Wayne Gretzky through the years, Gordie Howe,
Mario.
Mario Lemieux, Phil Esposito. Obviously there's been big names, but maybe you don't hear about the big names as much in hockey as in some of the other sports.
And I think, Anthony, as far as Kucherov is concerned, he's his own worst enemy. I mean, he doesn't do interviews. He doesn't go on national TV. He comes, he plays the game, and he goes home. He doesn't want to have part with any of that. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the way he is, and I think that's why he doesn't get the recognition that, even though his play is certainly worthy of it.
Which is a shame, because I would have thought that upon winning the 2020 Stanley Cup, where he pretty much broke out on the stage at the Tampa at the Ray J. He seemed to break out of that mold of that.
Get him a few beers, and he'll do that.
Yeah, we can't have that on a consistent basis. And so it just seems like he would have broken out of that hermit type mood he was in, but he seemed to kind of shelter himself. Yeah, I see a Russian guy like Ovechkin being more vocal, and let's go back to the whole premise of the lack of leadership again on this team. Now, who's going to take the match if, in fact, Stamkos decides to pack up his bags and leave, which I hope he doesn't, because I just...
That's getting more and more a possibility, and a lot of the national medias are picking up on that.
He seems not to be pulling his weight on the ice. It just seems like he's kind of just coasting, and it just seems apparent that there's no leader on the team. I can't expect Victor Hedman, because he's pretty much low key. But and then I think I was impressed with Chicago. If they can impose that forcefulness, that fierceness, and I think that was lacking when they played Toronto. Now they let Matthews and the guys take over and not cover them. I think they did a great job. Now, if they can take that to today's game, and more specifically against Boston on Monday, that'll show an upswing in their attitude. So let's hope that there's a change there. But I just see the young guys like Easy Mouth and Tanner Janot kind of putting more an effort than the veterans. So let's hope everybody gets synchronized.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I think the perfect guy to be the leader if Stamkos does indeed leave is Braden Point. And he contributes, he's young, but yet he's got the respect of the locker room.
I looked at those two games, the ones they lost back-to-back, the shutouts, and I think that, boy, you just can't have that. I mean, it's one thing to have Vasilevsky at. You expect your goaltending not to be as good, but you can't go not scoring a single goal in back-to-back game. That's just inexcusable for this team.
Anthony, give me your Buck score for tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Purdy be playing quarterback for the Niners?
Brock, the phone's breaking up a little bit. Purdy's the quarterback for the Niners.
I'm gonna say 28-25 Tampa Bay, but they're gonna have to be pretty good tight on the defense because the last previous games prior to the one last Sunday, they just fell apart. So if they can hold it together in defense, and I'm changing my mind a lot about Baker Mayfield. If they don't hold on to him, I have a feeling that New England might be interested in the guy.
I really hope they hold on to him. I'd like to see him stay. How about a halftime score, Anthony?
Let's go 14-12 Tampa Bay.
All right. You're the first one to pick the Bucks to win, so we'll see what happens. Right. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks, Anthony.
Appreciate it. Right. We need to hit a break, and then we'll be back with more of the home team. Room for you on the phone lines, 727-441-3000, 727-441-3000, or you can join us on Facebook Live and enter the contest, as Mike did, the home team with Paul Porter on Facebook, and you can enter it right there. More of the home team coming up on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3, and Facebook Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
Are higher taxes coming for you in retirement? All signs point to yes. If most of your retirement funds are in tax-deferred vehicles like 401ks or IRAs, you have exposure of rising taxes. Let Bobby Maggie of Maggie Tax help you find out in 30 seconds what your retirement tax bill will look like. Visit MaggieTax.com, click on the retirement calculator, and in 30 seconds, Bobby Maggie will show you what your retirement tax bill will look like. Click on Retirement Calculator at MaggieTax.com or call 833-MAGGIE-TAX. Now is a great time to shop your homeowners and auto insurance. Alliance Mutual Insurance can lower your cost on insurance during these challenging economic times. Alliance Mutual, an independent agency, is in the Tampa Bay area, locally owned with over 20 years experience. They have access to dozens of independent carriers and can find the lowest price with the highest quality coverage. Citizens is not your only option. Call or text Bob Springer, a home team listener, at 727-481-1936. 727-481-1936. What is Irish 31? It's the People's Pub, inspired by former USF football star Jay Mize, who wore number 31 for the green and gold. Irish 31, with 7 Florida West Coast locations, is your place to enjoy your favorite team in action. From Bucks to Bulls, Rays to Bolts, enjoy your favorite beverage or sample delicious food from their chef-inspired menu. Check out irish31.com to find the location nearest to you. Irish 31, your home team headquarters. Honest Mahoney's. That's what people have been calling LZ Mahoney for more than 35 years. Honest LZ Mahoney. The name really says it all. Mahoney's Auto Repair is a place you can trust. In fact, it was some of his loyal customers that came up with the name. Generations of people who've been taking their cars to 4040 54th Avenue North for 3.5 decades. Do you need some work done on your car? If his loyal customers call him Honest Mahoney's, that should tell you something right there. The next time you need work done on your car, take it to my friend LZ Mahoney's. He's been a part of the home team for nearly 20 years. Mahoney's Auto Repair. Or just remember Honest Mahoney's. 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg. A place that people have called home for more than 35 years. Honest Mahoney's. 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg. This is Paul Porter to tell you about the place to save big dollars on nearly new hockey, golf, baseball, and football equipment, and more. Check out Second Time Sports, Main Street, next to Walmart, just west of Belcher. Gently used sports equipment at significant savings is what you'll find at Second Time Sports. Call 727-784-0007 or check them out at secondtimesports.com. Don't pay full price for sports equipment without first checking out Second Time Sports, 2104 Main Street, just west of Belcher, next to Walmart. My new windows from FAS Windows and Doors are in. I couldn't be happier with the job they did, from measuring perfectly to prompt and exact installation. How did I choose FAS over all the other window companies? I've known Ernie and John Wilding for nearly 20 years. They're Central Florida and West Central Florida's largest volume window and door dealer, with showrooms and distribution facilities in both Tampa and Orlando. As you know, I never endorse a product or service unless I've used them or thoroughly researched them. Their objective is providing the best quality windows and doors on the market at reasonable prices with a customer service level that is unsurpassed in the industry. Never an obligation when you call 866-737-7173 or visit them on the internet at faswd.com. Call 866-737-7173. You'll be glad you did. I sure am.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. If you want to join us, 727-441-3000, 727-441-3000. Coming up at 11 o'clock today, the Sports Connection, and you'll get all of your high school and college and sports information. Mike does a good job with that from 11 to 1. And then at 1 o'clock, Burning Rubber Radio. All you NASCAR fans, the turn left or watch cars go in circles, as my son says. Mm-hmm. That's coming up from 1 to 2. And then 2 o'clock is our new program that we're associated with, and that's Legal Candy with Candace Colucci, attorney Candace Colucci, from 2 until 3. She's had a whistleblower on from the insurance industry that a lot of people are finding very interesting as well. That's 2 to 3 this afternoon. As far as something that I want to alert people to, had a chance to go out to Advent Health Center Rice yesterday and check out the NHL USA hockey sled tournament, sled hockey. And have you ever seen a sled hockey game, Jason?
No, I haven't.
Basically, it's men and women that are handicapped that have maybe lost a leg or don't have the use of their legs or don't have legs at all.
Okay, no, I have seen highlights of some of those. Then,
and they're on sleds.
Yes.
They're on these little mini sleds, and they have the mini hockey sticks. I was surprised at a couple of things: the intensity of the play, and also, if you think there isn't any checking, you are drastically wrong. They actually go at each other pretty good. And the NHL has gotten behind this. The Lightning have a sled hockey team. And there's a lot of people that come out and watch this. They had a good crowd there yesterday.
That's great.
I'm actually announcing the finals on Sunday afternoon of the Tier 1 sled hockey. And well, I'll tell you what, it's impressive to watch the competition between them.
They can do many things. Despite certain disabilities, there's still a lot. They give a lot out there. That's something to watch. Yeah.
And you know what's even more special, Jason, is that they really enjoy playing.
Yes.
They're just so happy to be out there.
Exactly.
Chance to take part in it. So, if you're looking for something to do, they're playing all day today. They started at 7 a.m. and I think it goes till 7:30 p.m. And then, of course, the finals will be tomorrow. There's free admission. You don't have to pay anything, and plenty of seating. So come on out and support these men and women that are handicapped and really are enjoying something that they have always wanted to do, and they found a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That is great.
All right. Want to get your thoughts on a number of things that we've been talking about. And Corey Long alluded to it, and I think it's important to look at. As far as the Bucks are concerned, which games are must wins as far as what's left on their schedule? They've got 8 games left. 4 of them are division games, right, Jason? So
yes.
Of those 8 games, which ones are the most critical? I feel the Indianapolis Colts is a big game for them, and also the Atlanta Falcon game in Atlanta. Those two stand out to me.
I say all the games in the division. I think if they can win those games, that is the key to winning the division, making the playoffs, in my opinion. You got to win those division games.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we don't want to minimize any of the games. They're all important. Okay, tomorrow's game is very important. A lot of people don't give them much of a chance to win. I believe they can win this game. You got to play well. You got to make plays. You got to be ready. And I think they're going to be ready. I think getting that win last week was huge in getting their confidence back. But, you're going to be, because look, here's the thing. Every single team, you have one goal in mind, to win the Super Bowl. So, yes, if you want to make the playoffs, but, okay, do you want to make the playoffs and just get bounced? No, you want to go all the way. You want to get all the way. And in order to do that, you have to beat the best. You have to beat teams like the 49ers and other teams. So I think the Bucs, you have to look at this as this is a game that they're going to go in there prepared, and they're planning on coming out of there with a victory.
Would a win tomorrow erase the Houston debacle?
I think so. To beat a team like San Francisco on the road, and obviously that would be 2 straight wins since the Houston. Well, and not only that, but consider this. Look at what Houston did after that. They went into Cincinnati when Cincinnati still had Burrow and was healthy. And Cincinnati was on a roll then. Houston beat them. Houston right now, if the playoffs start today, would be a playoff team. Mm-hmm. They're playing good football. So they're actually a pretty decent team. But yes, I think if the Bucs manage to win tomorrow, that would erase that, and then you start looking at the Bucs as a whole, in a whole new light. That not only could they be a playoff team, they could be a playoff team to really contend with if they can keep a win streak going.
Let's go to the phone lines. Robbie the Shark is with us next. Hello, Robbie. You're on the home team.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
We's doing good. How you's doing?
Oh, pretty darn good. Thank you very much.
Good.
One of the big things I just wanted to comment on is you said, what's the most important out of the last games here for Tampa Bay?
Mm-hmm.
You know what the most important game is? This weekend, and when this weekend is over, the next weekend.
Yep.
The most important game is the game of that week.
So you don't see on the 8 games one or two being more important than some of the others.
You take it one game at a time is what he's saying.
Cliche, one game at a time. That's it. One game at a time, man. Now, and I like what they're doing now. And I haven't been a Buccaneers fan for these 16 years, but I'm liking them, and that scares me.
You know what? I will tell you, Robbie. One impressive thing is you look at their draft picks for this year, their rookie class. You've had a lot of contributions from guys. I mean, obviously, Kalijah Cansey started the year injured, but he's really done well. Trey Palmer, the wide receiver, has done well. Cody Mauch has started, I think, every game in offensive line, and the other, Yaya Diaby is getting in the mix. So it looks like that for a lot of these draft picks, they got some guys that are contributing right away this year.
Do you happen to know, Jason, if Yaya is his given name, or if
I don't know
if they actually somebody named him Yaya?
Well, there's been names.
Or did they make a mistake at the birth certificate?
Well, remember the guy, Ha-Ha. Remember Ha-Ha Clinton Dix? Something funny about that guy? Yeah, so the guy's name's Ha-Ha, Yaya. There's a lot of unique names out there. I'll put it that way.
Happy Feller. Was always an interesting one. Yeah, that's for sure. Robbie, what do you see for the Bucs tomorrow? Do they have any chance?
Absolutely. First half, 10-7, Bucs will be up.
Wow. Okay.
And Bucs are going to finish 24-21. They need this game really the most. They beat San Francisco. They're competitors. They're really going to Mayfield's going to come through. This is going to be a good game.
They've been talking about it being a measuring stick.
Sure.
That's for sure. And
yes, it is.
We'll know a lot, I think, after tomorrow. Although, if they win the game, Jason, by some fluke play, let's say the pass bounces off a lineman's head,
win is a win.
And Devin White grabs it and runs it in for a touchdown, and they win 7-0.
That's what I'll say. We'll take it.
Okay.
And a win is a win.
The Immaculate Reception was a freak.
There you go.
Play.
Yes, absolutely. One of the all-time most famous plays.
Good point.
Good,
biggest
excellent.
one ever.
Robbie, I hope you can make it to our Christmas party.
Christmas party, Tampa. I can't get across that darn water, man.
Okay.
I really would like to go.
Yeah, it's a long
across
swim.
the water is a bit difficult for me. Too expensive. I have to take a cab.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to pass on that. However, I do want to make my comments about side dishes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese? Who does that? Why not have pierogies as a side dish then?
Well, everybody has their own favorites, and
No, I never heard of mac and cheese until 10 years when 14 years ago, I moved down there. I said, who had mac and cheese for Thanksgiving? That's goofy. That's what you have when you can't. That's what you have when you can't make it to payday. You know.
My wife's grandmother makes mac and cheese, but it's not your basic mac and cheese. It's a mixture of different cheeses and different cheese sauces and all that.
I like mac and cheese too. We don't have it that often during Thanksgiving. I don't think so, but it is very good. I love my good mac and cheese.
Robbie, I got to hit a break, but thanks for joining us.
I got schooled. Thank you, and stuffing and gravy, brother. Peace out.
All right, appreciate that. We need to hit a break, and then more of your phone calls, more of your entries into the contest. Join us at 727-441-3000, 727-441-3000, and you can also join us here on Facebook Live and on FM 106.1, 102.3, AM 1340, and AM 1350, and the TAN Talk
Radio Network.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the three-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity and Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with two N's, development.com. Your number one home team fans, Auto Owners Insurance and Vermost Insurance Agency is a winning combination. We'll work with you to ensure your home, auto, business, and life to keep everything you value safe, sound, and secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit the Vermost Insurance Agency in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com. That's vermost.com.
We're very happy to have with us today from Grace Family Church, Senior Executive Pastor Chris Bonham. Chris, it's a casual church at Grace, isn't it?
It's very casual. We want people to come just as they are, not only in their walk with God, but also in their clothing and just in their demeanor. We want people to feel comfortable at church. So they can really sit and enjoy a message that's going to challenge them to grow. They can come with their families and that of all ages, that they can come and have fun. Believe it or not, it is one of our values to have a good time at church, not getting away from the Bible, not getting away from the spiritual teaching, but creating an environment where people are comfortable to come and hear a message that's going to change their life.
And you have services at two of the campuses, Saturday and Sunday, correct?
Right. And Land O'Lakes and Van Dyke are the ones that have Saturday night service as well.
Outstanding. So check it out. Grace Family Church, now 7 locations to choose from. The new location in Clearwater at Grace Family Church, plus online. You'll find them at gfcflorida.com.
This is Paul Porter to tell you about the place to save big dollars on nearly new hockey, golf, baseball, and football equipment, and more. Check out Second Time Sports, Main Street, next to Walmart, just west of Belcher. Gently used sports equipment at significant savings is what you'll find at Second Time Sports. Call 727-784-0007 or check them out at secondtimesports.com. Don't pay full price for sports equipment without first checking out Second Time Sports, 2104 Main Street, just west of Belcher, next to Walmart.
There's one thing I'm particular about. It's my pizza. ABC Pizza House at 1242 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. Great specials, too, like a large one-topping pizza for just $11.99 every Monday or Thursday, or 2 pizzas with 2 toppings every Tuesday for just $22.99. Spaghetti with 1 topping every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday for just $8.99. ABC Pizza House, 1242 West Hillsborough Avenue, 813-213-0929. Open every day, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. abcpizzahouse.com.
Hello, brilliant listeners. For an intellectually stimulating and entertaining legal journey, don't forget to tune in every Saturday at 2 p.m. Join us on WTAN AM 1340 radio for Legal Candy with the exceptional attorney Candice Colucci. It's the home for your legal cravings. Don't miss Legal Candy, only on WTAN 1340 AM with attorney Candice Colucci.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. Glad to have you with us. And phone lines available for you at 727-441-3000. This is going to shock you, Jason.
Okay.
But the Rubber Cement Man is picking the Bucks to win tomorrow.
Is he? How about that?
In overtime, 31-30. Now, that's not really possible because if the game went to overtime, it would have to be tied.
You can't get
a
1
point win in overtime.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We'll let it slide at 31-30 and see how accurate he is. And he's got a 14-14 at the half.
I guess I'm still because I'm going to say the other one team can kick a field goal, but still the math wouldn't work out that way to win by 1 point. Even if the other team came back and scored the touchdown. But
he obviously didn't think that through. Yeah. But that's okay. We're always glad to get some different approaches.
I'm glad you picked them to win. I like that.
You had mentioned earlier today, and I wanted to jump back into this about Georgia being the number one team in college football.
Right.
What has Georgia done, or what has Ohio State, Michigan, and Florida State not done to make Georgia now the number one in your mind?
I think Georgia not only have they won their games recently against good opponents, they've been dominant. So that's what I look at. I think more about the dominance. Michigan has been dominant throughout the year, but they only played a really good team for the first time last week against Penn State, and that was a very impressive win. But Georgia, of course, they've had the win against Missouri, who's a good team. They're playing Tennessee later today. They blew out. They beat Kentucky when Kentucky was playing well. But the point, and plus, you also think about this: Georgia is the defending national champion, the defending two-time national champion. They're actually trying to make history by winning a third straight national title.
Are they the new Alabama?
Could be. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I just think that with the weapons that they have, their depth, with the recruiting now, with Kirby Smart, once you start winning those championships, the recruits just come flying in. I just think when Georgia plays up to their potential, I don't see any of the teams beating them. I don't. I think they're the most talented team. They're the deepest team. And right now, it looks like they're hitting their stride. So I think that they're the best team.
Of the other three that are in the top four, who would be
Michigan.
The best chance of beating them?
I think Michigan. I think Michigan's the best team of the other ones. Ohio State has been very shaky on offense, inconsistent. I'll say they're still a very good team, but up and down offensively the whole year. And Florida State too. Florida State, well, yes, they're having a very impressive season, but there have been some games that they struggled against. Miami gave them all they could handle for a while. There was another game earlier in the year against Boston College. So, and of course, Washington is number 5. They're still undefeated. They have had some very close calls against some teams that are less than stellar. So of the other teams outside of Georgia, I think Michigan I would give is the best shot to beating them.
This was brought up this week, and I thought it was a good question, and that is, should the loser of the Ohio State-Michigan game drop out of the top 4?
It depends. It depends on what the score is. If it's a close game, then and depending on what the other teams in the top rankings are doing, it all depends.
So if one team wins by 1 point, for example, they may both stay in the top 4.
Well, the other team's going to be very. I mean, we saw Ohio State actually lose, I think, to Michigan last year in dominant fashion, but got back into the playoff when USC lost in the Pac-12 title game. So again, it all depends on what some of the other teams do. I really wish going into the conference championship games to make it more exciting that in some cases the loser would be out. But again, that's not going to happen. If Georgia is undefeated going into the SEC title game, and let's say Georgia loses to Alabama in the SEC title game, Georgia's not going to be out of the playoff. Their resume is too strong. And I guess that's the right thing, because at the end of the day, the playoff is to get the top 4 teams, the 4 best teams there. But from an excitement standpoint, I like the game to almost be like a playoff eliminator, where the winner advances, the loser goes home. To me, that's kind of why in the past, college football, the regular season matters so much, especially when there were only 2 teams that played for the national title. The regular season meant more if there was more of a consequence for the team that lost.
Well, we'll see what happens. That's always a great game, that Ohio State-Michigan game. Yeah. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, traditionally. And it's at Michigan this year.
And they should be undefeated. Michigan has Maryland today, Ohio State, I believe Minnesota. They should handle their business in those games. So the 2 teams should be undefeated going into that game next week.
All right. Very good. If you want to join us, we're running short on time, but also we want to get your calls in. If you want to join us, 727-441-3000. Mario has joined us on Facebook Live. He says he's pretty interested in the Washington-Florida State fate. Washington has 3 wins versus ranked teams versus the Noles 1 win versus ranked teams. How would you rank those 2, Florida State and Washington? Is Washington deserving of the number 4 spot?
I would keep Florida State there for right now, but the thing is, it doesn't matter, because Michigan's going to play Ohio State. Someone's going to lose. Okay, so if Florida State and Washington both win out and finish undefeated, they're both going to be in the playoff. They're both going to be in the playoff.
Unless the one that loses, as we said, it's a 1-point loss, Ohio State, Michigan.
And there's the other. Okay, there's the other possibility. And now that I think about it, if Alabama with 1 loss beats Georgia, okay, then you could talk about Alabama jumping the other teams. That would be very controversial. That would be if that's the whole debate.
Because Alabama has 2 losses?
Well, no, Alabama has just 1 loss. So they would be the SEC champ. Now this would go back to the debate about, should it be required that you win your conference championship to qualify for the playoff? If you did that, then it makes those conference championship games all the more exciting when there's a consequence that the team that loses might be out of it. But then someone else would argue, well, but if that team that loses is still one of the best teams, they deserve to be in. That would be interesting.
Let's go back to the phone lines. We've got Joe from Second Time Sports joining us, Joe Ciandra. Hello, Joe. Welcome back to the home team.
Thanks, Paul. How's everything going? Sounds great.
We're doing good. We appreciate you being back on board with us here. I know you take a break over the summer months, and we're glad that you're back with Second Time Sports, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I've been meaning to ask you this for weeks, and I'm sure you've heard it from a number of people. What's wrong with the Buffalo Bills?
Sean McDermott.
I was going to say it has to be Ken Dorsey. They just fired him, so it had to be Dorsey. Right?
It's Sean McDermott. Yeah. I'm going to tell you why. Because he took the team as far as he could take it, and it doesn't matter what sport you're in, if it's hockey, football, it doesn't matter. When you have a guy who has elite players like he has, and you're not an elite coach, like a Bill Belichick or, some of these, other coaches, you hit a ceiling, and that's as far as you could go. You can't go any further. Yeah. And you look at Mahomes. Mahomes wasn't that great of a, national championship type kid and blah, 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 but he had a coach who's an elite coach who took him to 2 Super Bowls and they won.
All right. Well, the Bills have been struggling, that's for sure, and they managed to beat the Bucs. But not recently. The Denver game was a real surprise.
They've had a lot of mistakes. The turnovers and penalties have really, really killed Buffalo. Their offense, when you think about it, has actually been in the top rankings of the league, which is why I think a lot of people were really not felt that was very unfair to fire Ken Dorsey when their offensive production's been there. They've just been derailed by mistakes, the turnovers in particular.
Well, like I said, when you don't have an elite coaching staff, you cannot they make mistakes because they're kind of like their friends instead of being their bosses, and taking them to next level. Brian Dable took Josh Allen from a Wyoming quarterback to the NFL and brought him to stardom. So there you go.
Joe, I want to get to Second Time Sports, and now we're into the holiday season. Black Friday is coming up in 6 days, and a way to save some money and get a good quality item is Second Time Sports. Let somebody else take the hit for the brand new retail, and you can get just as good an item at your store for just a fraction of the price. What are some things that are good possible gift ideas?
Well, right now we have lots of hockey gear. We have lots of sticks. Of course, the snowbirds are down, and there's a lot of Canadians down, so we have tons of left-handed golf clubs.
All right.
And
pretty good, eh? Yeah.
And then of course, our baseball is really diminished down to, but we have some really good bats and good gloves in there. And of course, our number one thing is bikes, e-bikes, regular bikes, repairs, and we do all that stuff. And that's been really booming for the store.
Boy, the e-bikes have really taken off, haven't they?
Crazy. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They're going in, they come in, and we have new ones. We have some used ones, but mostly new. It's just because the parts are so hard to get if you get the used ones, batteries and all that stuff. So I've been trying to stick with the new stuff.
Okay, very good. Joe, we always want to include you in our contest. So what is your score for the Bucks and the 49ers tomorrow?
I think it's going to be like 27-24.
Close one.
And I have a feeling the Bucks are going to take it.
Wow.
Very nice.
Okay. And just for the record, a halftime score.
Halftime score, 14-10.
All right. Tell us where and when you can shop at Second Time Sports.
We're there. We're Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5. Saturdays, 10 to 4. We're at 2104 Main Street in Dunedin, right next to the neighborhood Walmart. And we're ready for anybody to come in and have any questions.
If people have a question, what phone number can they reach your store at?
727-784-0007.
727-784-0007. If you're doing your holiday shopping before you spend the big money at the retail store, check out Second Time Sports. You can save a lot of money and get a quality, almost brand new item at Second Time Sports.
You don't want to go to those dicks.
All right. And with that, we'll say thank you, Joe. Thank you so much.
Next time I want to talk about the Lightning. I had a whole bunch of stuff to say about them.
Oh, real quick, give us a little flavor. What? Okay. Real quick.
So, I was doing all the stats and looking at everything and going through everything, and it's like, shots on goal were like 21st in this league, and that's unusual for a Lightning team, But I really noticed a couple of things. We have forwards that hardly have any points in this league, which I'm very surprised. Sorelli, 7 points.
Yeah.
Jeanette, 6 points. Paul, 9 points. It's like, if these guys start amping up, and we only have 2 defensive guys that have any really decent points, which are not surprising. Hedman and Sergov. You know what I mean? It's like, if we get some of these other guys going, and I know Vasquez's out, and I don't know, do you know when he's coming back?
They're saying probably Monday or Wednesday of next week.
Right, because he's been practicing.
Yeah. I'm up against it, Joe, but we'll definitely talk more Lightning next time we have you on the program.
Okay, buddy. Have a great weekend.
You do the same. We have to hit our final break, and then Tony will be our final caller of the day. Stay right where you are, Tony. Want to hear from you. More of the home team coming up on Facebook Live, the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, FM 106.1, and
FM 102.3.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Be sure to tune in to the Maggie Tax and Financial Show tomorrow morning at 10:30 on ABC TV. The Maggie Tax and Financial Show takes important, complex topics and simplifies them so you feel better equipped to face your financial future with confidence. Great information and advice from Bobby and Chris Maggie with absolutely no obligation awaits you tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. on ABC WFTS Channel 28. Now is a great time to shop your homeowners and auto insurance. Alliance Mutual Insurance can lower your cost on insurance during these challenging economic times. Alliance Mutual, an independent agency, is in the Tampa Bay area, locally owned with over 20 years experience. They have access to dozens of independent carriers and can find the lowest price with the highest quality coverage. Citizens is not your only option. Call or text Bob Springer, a home team listener, at 727-481-1936. 727-481-1936. 1936. Honest Mahoney's. That's what people have been calling LZ Mahoney for more than 35 years. Honest LZ Mahoney. The name really says it all. Mahoney's Auto Repair is a place you can trust. In fact, it was some of his loyal customers that came up with the name. Generations of people who've been taking their cars to 4040 54th Avenue North for 3.5 decades. Do you need some work done on your car? If his loyal customers call him Honest Mahoney's, that should tell you something right there. The next time you need work done on your car, take it to my friend LZ Mahoney's. He's been a part of the home team for nearly 20 years. Mahoney's Auto Repair. Or just remember Honest Mahoney's. 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, a place that people have called home for more than 35 years. Honest Mahoney's, 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg.
Paul Porter here to tell you about First Fridays at Raw Space Collaborative at the Groves of Wesley Chapel, just 60 seconds from I-75. First Fridays are the first Friday of every month, starting at 4 p.m. Your chance to network while enjoying complimentary cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, live music, and more. It's a family-friendly event that's not only fun, but a great networking tool for your business. Find out more by emailing rawspaceco@gmail.com. That's rawspaceco@gmail.com. Or call 813-575-8046. Looking to buy or sell a home but don't know where to turn? Paul Porter here from Pollyanna Ward and the team at Innovation Realty Group. They're ready to work for you. New construction, buying, or selling an existing home? They can do it all. They serve our entire listing area. Uncompromising integrity combined with savvy negotiating is what you'll find at Innovation Realty Group. Visit their website, innovationgroupfl.com. That's innovationgroupfl.com. Or call 813-802-8415 to speak directly with Molly Anna.
My new windows from FAS Windows and Doors are in. I couldn't be happier with the job they did, from measuring perfectly to prompt and exact installation. How did I choose FAS over all the other window companies? I've known Ernie and John Wilding for nearly 20 years. They're Central Florida and West Central Florida's largest volume window and door dealer, with showrooms and distribution facilities in both Tampa and Orlando. As you know, I never endorse a product or service unless I've used them or thoroughly researched them. Their objective is providing the best quality windows and doors on the market at reasonable prices with a customer service level that is unsurpassed in the industry. Never an obligation when you call 866-737-7173 or visit them on the internet at faswd.com. Call 866-737-7173. You'll be glad you did. I sure am.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's our final segment of the home team for this week. Let's go right to the phones. Tony is with us. Hello, Tony.
Gentlemen, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Tony.
Thanks for getting in under the wire.
Okay, good. I'm of the opinion this college playoff, if you're in a major conference, you go undefeated and you win the conference, by golly, you deserve to be in the Final Four. Mm-hmm. And this talk, well, you know, Washington is in the Pac-12. FSU's in the ACC. Those are major conferences.
Yes.
They've got a lot of good teams. And the SEC and Big Ten might be a better conference, but that's a heck of an accomplishment to go undefeated when you're in a major conference. They would deserve to be in the Final Four. That's my opinion.
I agree, Tony. If you go undefeated and win your conference championship, to me, you do deserve to be in it. And for another team that has one loss, let's say, or did not win their conference championship, I agree. I put the emphasis on undefeated, and you're the conference champion. I agree with you.
So would you put Washington in and take the loser of Michigan, Ohio State out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Even a 1-point game. No, I would put it holds more weight to first go undefeated and to be conference champion. Yes, absolutely, that they should be in over a one-loss Michigan Ohio State team.
Well, you could have it where you might have 4 undefeated teams at the end, because Big Ten, you might have an undefeated champion. Right. SEC, you might have an undefeated
Georgia,
champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the case, they've got to be in the Final Four.
There's going to be no controversy then, Tony. The controversy will be if Alabama, one loss, beats Georgia in the SEC title game. Then you've got the debate: are both of them going to end up in? And that's going to cause a whole bunch of problems.
Tony,
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
We're running short of time, so I want to get your score in for the Bucs and 49ers.
Okay, I'm predicting an upset. The Bucs 20, the 49ers 17.
A lot of people have picked the Bucs today. And
like it.
How about a halftime score, Tony?
10-10.
10-10. All right. Thanks so much. We're glad to hear.
All right. Have a good weekend, gentlemen. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Well, it's our turn now. Matt, we'll start with you. What do you see, Bucs and 49ers tomorrow?
31-21 final. 14-10 at the half, both in favor of San Francisco.
All right, very good. Jason, what do you see?
Bucs are going to upset them, 31-27.
Oh.
I'm going to put the 49ers, I think, will be ahead at halftime, 17-14, but Bucs will win 31-27.
All right, and I have the 49ers winning 35-21 and leading at halftime 28-7. Hope I'm wrong, but that's how I see it.
So do I.
Thanks to everybody, Joe Ciandra from Second Time Sports and Corey Long from ESPN and NHL Network. We'll talk to you next Saturday at 9 o'clock right here on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, 106.1 FM, 102.3 FM, and Facebook
Live.
Underground, in the middle, there was no turning back. Thunder, my mind raced, then I thought.
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Allison Key.